This is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Hamburger pie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the ingredients that we're going to use is, of course, some ground beef. It's a pound. We're going to use some Worcestershire sauce, eggs, salt, pepper, some spices. I use a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, a cup of milk, our onion that's diced up, and a half a cup of all-purpose self-rise flour, which in some areas they call Bisquick. And I use a glass pie plate to make it in. You could do it in a regular pie plate. You could do it in a square pan, whatever. And cheese. Okay, we're gonna just put a drop of oil because you're gonna get a little bit of oil from the chop meat.
Well, it depends on which chop meat you're using.
Percentage you're using. And this happens to be an 80% lean.
Yeah.
But if you're using something really lean, you might need to put a little bit more.
Yeah, and another thing, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. So basically this recipe is similar to a quiche. It's kind of like a quiche, honestly. You use meat, you put in onions, you got the egg mixture, flour. Well, not a little less like quiche, but it's like a mix. Anyways, we've got this recipe from the Bisquick box years and years and years and years ago. And, you know, ever since we've made it for a long time, occasionally we make it and we've modified the recipe. The structural things are still the same in here, but we've modified it to add our own flavors, like the Worcestershire, which makes it really nice.
So we're frying this up to get your chopped meat brown.
Mm-hmm. At this point, usually you would want to put a little salt and pepper, but we're going to be adding Worcestershire. That's going to add some flavor. Plus, we're going to add the salt and pepper
when we're mixing everything together. The other thing that you can put in this to make it even more healthy, you can quickly blanch some spinach and add that into it. That would look really great. This is a great dish. You could even make it the day before.
Right.
And have it, you know, wrap it up, and then you have it for your supper the night that you need it.
Yeah. So now you would add one whole onion. We're adding 1.5 onions.
I actually had a little bit of red onion, so I'm putting that in. It was a nice size medium onion.
Yeah. All right. One thing I do want to mention about the cheese is you kind of want to buy a block and shave it yourself or shred it yourself, because if you use the one that's already pre-shredded, not to say that that's bad, it's fine, but for this you kind of want to shred your own, just because you want to make sure that you know, because they coat that with like potato flakes or
starch.
Potato starch that basically keeps it from like you know, clumping together.
Okay, I'm going to add my Worcestershire sauce, so I'm going to add a nice tablespoon, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, and it kind of prevents clumping, so honestly, you know, it doesn't melt as good. I mean, it melts, but not as good as you want it.
Right, and you can use any kind of cheese that you like. You could use a combination of cheeses. You can use a Swiss cheese. You can use a Munster. You can use sharp cheddar. Whatever you like.
Honestly, whatever you would put. Whatever you would put on your own cheeseburger.
Okay, so if you would like to, you could actually start your onions a little before you put your meat in. So if you wanted your onions a little bit more caramelized, you can do that. There's no right or wrong way, so it's all a preference to what you would like. Okay, so before we start mixing all of the chopped meat, I'm gonna quickly grease my pan here so it'll be all ready just to pour it in. So a little Crisco.
Yeah, and honestly, I was thinking about this while we were we were getting this ready. But you could make, like, literally, if you know how to make Thousand Island dressing, which I don't, but we could potentially make another version of this, which we might do in a later date. We'd have to put it in the lab, but we could make a McDonald's cheeseburger pie, which would be kind of interesting. You put bits of pickles, although I'm not a huge fan of pickles. So
okay, so we have our chopped meat and onions.
Yeah, and
I'm going to add some pepper.
Yeah, and as you can see, there is some juice left over. We've shredded our cheese here.
I'm going to put a little bit of salt, not too much, because the Worcestershire and the cheese has some salt.
Yeah, but you want to season it.
I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder.
And I'll have the exact measurements in the what the hell is it? In the video description.
It's probably, this is about a half a teaspoon or so of each onion and garlic powder.
Yeah, you want to add more onion. It all depends. I mean, this is basically you know, depending on how you like your cheeseburger. We like it with onions in it. There was an episode where we made our own cheeseburgers, I think one time. The sliders and the cheeseburgers. And they ended up coming out pretty good.
I'm going to add our 2 eggs.
Now at this point, hopefully the heat in the meat will have subsided a lot, because you do not want scrambled eggs. Usually I put the Bisquick in first. But you do how you do. It's just throwing a little shade, but whatever. Anyways, you mix it all together.
We have a cup of milk, and I'm going to put like half of it, okay? Mix it around. Going to add my flour mixture.
Yeah, Bisquick. You could say Bisquick. It's an ingredient. Like I mentioned, we got it out of the back of the box long time ago.
They don't even put it in anymore.
They don't even put it in the box anymore. But we got it so long ago. It's a delicious recipe to make. You know, especially when it starts to get cooler. Like right now, we're making it in the middle of summer.
I mean, everybody grills.
Yeah.
But you know,
sometimes you don't want to grill.
Yeah. And this here you can have for a side vegetables. You can have for a side a nice salad. Mm-hmm. You could have mac and cheese, mm-hmm, or French fries, baked beans, whatever you'd like. All right. So this is it, and then this is going to. We're going to add our cheese. Sorry.
Right. I grated
so this is 8 ounces.
We're only going to put half of it in the mixture. The other half's going to go on top to make like a nice cheesy crust, so that when that starts to boil over or starts to melt, it'll be good. But
we're not going to put it on initially.
No.
When we put it in the oven. We're going to wait until it's almost ready, and then we're going to add it to the top to melt.
Right, and this is only going to be in the oven for about 25 minutes.
Now you could do this with chopped turkey or chicken,
yeah,
as well.
The only thing I would suggest with that is to make sure to season, obviously, your chicken more.
I'm getting all those nice bits here on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, you just want to mix it around, pat it down, make sure you get it all spread out even, because you don't want like a big hill in the middle or whatever. Anyways, so we're going to throw this in a 400-degree oven for 25 minutes. We'll probably take it out about, I don't know, 10 minutes left, and put the rest of the cheese on. Okay, so this has been 20 minutes, and you can see it's starting to brown nicely, and it's pretty set. See, still a little loose. Now we're going to add the rest of the cheese on top, and be as generous as you would like. Yeah.
I try not to get too close to the edge, because then it just kind of all sticks on there. And then you're trying to
clean it later.
pull it off. So this is going to go back in the oven, and it's going to cook until the cheese is all melted.
Right.
And that you stick a knife in the center and it comes out clean. Okay, so we just took this out of the oven. You can see it's still sizzling around the side. See how nice and crusty the cheese is? In the middle it's still kind of gooey. So that's done, you see?
Let me see. So yeah, it is.
It's a
all
little
done.
oil, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Right.
Now, the thing with this is you can't eat it really, really hot because if you go to cut it, it falls apart. So you have to be able to resist,
Yeah.
wait a little bit, have a little patience, let it cool down a little bit.
At least 10 minutes.
So it all will kind of meld back together and won't fall apart. When we were still waiting for it to cook, I even mentioned to Pete this would even be great if you did sausage meat in here and did a sausage pie.
Patty pie.
Yeah.
That could be
You could use it really anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so this has been sitting for about 10 minutes or so. You can even let it sit longer, and as you can see, it kind of settled down a little bit.
Deflated, kind of like a souffle. So we're gonna cut the first piece so we can show you the inside, and then we're gonna eat. And yeah, the beautiful thing about this is it serves a bunch, probably 4 or 6 people. And if you Criscoed it good, you should be able to get it out.
The first piece is always the worst with any kind of thing that is a pie.
There we go.
And I didn't do a good job because
Yeah, that's all right.
and it's still
It's probably
fuming hot. See?
Probably could have kept it another couple minutes, but whatever. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It might not look the prettiest, but it's freaking delicious. So let's eat it. So here's our cheeseburger pie. Still kind of smoking, steam. Put a little ketchup on there. So now we're gonna give it a go. It is still probably gonna be very hot. So even wait.
Yeah, I could see it.
Wait, because when it falls apart, it's not really the best. I'm telling you, when it just congeals, it's terrific.
That's why sometimes, as I mentioned, it's good to make it the day before and then just heat it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is terrific as leftovers, but you get I'm tasting a lot of onions, which is good because I like the onions with my burger. You get the good cheese on the top, nice and cheesy, and it's just a burger. I mean, it's like literally a burger in a pie. It's terrific. So
and we're gonna have some French fries with it.
yeah, you can't go wrong with French fries, maybe some baked beans. But we're going to end it here. I've been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.